We are Control Shift Collective. We are a gallery space and 15 studios located in West Oakland on Ohlone land.
It was founded in 2015 by 12 artists in hopes of providing subsidized studio spaces for underrepresented artists.
We are a majority gender variant, Black, Indigenous, LGBTQIA+, and people of color cohort building a sustainable communal space.
We are visual artists, musicians, activists, educators, performers, sound artists, filmmakers, social and cultural workers with many personal identities: gender nonconforming, non-binary, two-spirit, immigrant, people of color, LGBTQIA+, and various spiritualities and faiths.
We prioritize our space to host community gatherings beyond the exhibition format, via performance nights, dance parties, clothing and plant swaps, panel conversations, fundraisers, and presentations, speaking to the needs of the people we serve.
In our 5-year history, we've shown over 60 local, national, and international artists and have housed 50 studio artists.
Tonight, we'll be sharing our recipes for collective care, exploring the many ways we can give care to our communities and learn about care from each other.
You're invited to make your own recipes for care with us tonight and share them with loved ones.
And please share your recipes online using #recipesforcare.
Looking at the world one piece at a time, an exercise of care borrowed from Karita Kent. This pandemic has been overwhelming in so many ways. Here's a simple exercise to refresh your creative mind by looking at the world around you through a viewfinder. Cut a rectangular hole out of a heavy piece of paper. If you're able to, take a walk outside and hold up the viewfinder. Admire what you're able to see without any distraction. Anything becomes a thing of beauty. Take a photo of your favorite views and share with your community.
Step 1. Stop. Sit by a window, step outside and take a seat. Lean against a tree. Step 2. Listen. Take 3 deep breaths and notice your surroundings. Step 3. Acknowledging. Notice the plants around you. Notice them all. Notice the beings around you. Notice them all. Notice the land you are on, who came before you and who will come after you. Step 3. Self-acknowledging. Notice any sensations you feel, any thoughts, any aches, any grief. Take a moment, take 3 breaths, and release. Now you are ready to envision. How do you want to support your community? How do you want to cultivate abundance? How do you want to hold yourself? What do you want to bring into the future?
Hi everyone, my name is Jay Rivera-Panza. I'm currently sitting here at my studio at Control Shift Collective, and I wanted to talk about making lists. And so making lists is something that I like to do as a grounding exercise. It's super helpful, especially for me, who's a serial overthinker, to create a physical manifestation of the energies that I have going on inside of my head. So the things that you'll need are your recording tools. So I have a pen and paper here, and you don't have to limit yourself into that. You could also use a film camera or a sound recording device to create sound bites or video versions of lists. And then the last thing that you'll need is what you want your list to be about. You can be really specific or you can be really broad. So I have a couple examples here. So here is your standard conventional to-do list, and it's on this small piece of paper because I like to keep a manageable way of like putting into perspective a lot of the things that I need to do. And seeing it on a small piece of paper, it just kind of like creates this bigger picture into a smaller frame. Here is an observation list. I get disoriented in space a lot, and in order to situate myself, I like to create an observation list. So starting with the stuff nearest me, I record all of that stuff, and then moving forward into the bigger space. And then here is a quick little artwork that I did that lists the artists who have been a part or are currently a part of Control Shift Collective. And so this is kind of the physical manifestation of that. And here I just kind of embroidered it with some pieces of thread. And it doesn't have to be, again, written. It could also be images. So here are photos. And if you really think about it, photography is also another way of creating lists into an image form. And so the goal really of making lists is to externalize a lot of that energy, whether it's just kind of anxiety or just to kind of like create a better way of navigating and streamlining your thoughts. So hopefully that's super helpful. I would love to hear and see the ways that you've created a list for yourself. So please share that with the collective. And hopefully you have a good day. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm thinking about lists.
Hello, my name is Brianna Tadeo. I am a visual artist and new member at Control Shift Collective, and this is my recipe for collective care. I would like to invite you to listen to the soundscapes around you. The ingredients are really simple. You'll just need yourself, a timer, and you'll need materials at the end to document your experience. So you ready to get started? Okay. Step 1. Go to your favorite spot. It can be indoors or outdoors. Really wherever is accessible to you and feels cozy and comfy. Step 2. Find a place to plant yourself. Lie down on your back if you can. Step 3. Set your timer to 2 minutes. If you're using a cell phone, make sure to set it to airplane mode so as to limit any distractions. Step 4. Close your eyes. Step 5. Focus on your breathing. Inhale, exhale, repeat. Step 6. Listen to the sounds flooding into your ears. From the sounds that are closest to you to the ones more distant. Really stretch your hearing to pinpoint some of the most distant sounds you can hear. Step 7. Open your eyes. Step 8. Reflect on your experience. You can draw, write, or record a voice memo about what you've heard. And that's my recipe. Sending lots of love, Brianna.
My recipe for care lives as a memory. I created this piece using scrap materials from my desk as I was reflecting on childhood memories of care and comfort. My dad, typically a man of few words, would wake up before the rest of the family on weekends and make us a big pot of homemade noodle soup. He would roll each one by hand, a careful and patient expression of love that was transmuted through each bite. To this day, when I think of hot soup, handmade noodles, I am warmed by the attention and care that went into its preparation as much as by its hot broth. Is there a food that reminds you of love, comfort, care? Perhaps something a loved one made you when you were feeling sick or sad? Can you learn how to prepare this dish? Who would you share it with? If not, what are other ways that you can represent it?
My recipe of care has 3 things. I often get too hot or too cold. When I'm half awake at 2 a.m. and loudly complaining about it, my significant other will patiently retrieve a blanket, or an ice pack, or a wet towel. Sometimes I wake up not remembering any of this happening, the only evidence being that melted ice pack curled next to my body in the morning. My recipe of care has so much warmth. I try really hard to get healthier. Healing herbs, medications, visits to the doctor, specialty diets, squat challenges, and so much more. It can sometimes feel like a lot. I'm really thankful to have close friends and family who join me for some of this, and who normalize stuff like how much celery and lemon I consume on a daily basis. My recipe of care also has solidarity. And last but most meaningfully, my recipe of care has presence in any and all forms. This year was filled with so much intense pain and illness. Though it seemed and felt insurmountable at times, I experienced so many forms of care during this period that made it all bearable. This is my recipe of care. Actions and gestures that others have done with and for me, and that I'd gladly do in return if given the opportunity.
Hi, my name is Patricia Leal, and although I'm not a musician, sound is a very big part of how I process the world. It's through music that I recalibrate.
Music is the healing power of the universe.
I've been listening to a lot of music lately, making playlists and sharing a mix. And I would like to invite you to share the music you've been listening to in playlist form. What is the music that offers you a space of calm and ease? What is the music that makes you move? What is the music that makes you feel at home or remind you of home? If you're not so used at making playlists, I would say to keep it simple. Start with a song that you love or a mood that you want to feel, and let yourself explore. Maybe you will end up finding new songs on this journey. If you share your playlist on social media, #recipes for care. We would love to listen to them. And if you're in a position to, please support artists, musicians, DJs by donating or buying their music.
I'm Leah King, musician, event producer, and DJ, and this is my recipe for self-care. First and foremost, lighting. I have electronic disco balls. One goes into my computer. Then I like to get dressed in something that feels good. For me, that's a sequin bodysuit. I also don't want to feel restricted Gotta let that hair down. And because the body is the canvas, sometimes I do a little glitter. Today, just gonna do a little lipstick. Don't need to get it on my mouth because I'm quarantining at home. Great, perfect. And of course, a beverage. Sometimes it's iced tea, sometimes it's hot coffee. Today, it's $7 Bordeaux. Yeah. L'chaim. Then, of course, our music. I have a house version of Heard It Through the Grapevine, naturally. Finish my lighting. And I'll see you on the dance floor.
Women of color,
queer, two-spirit, genderqueer, non-binary,
transsexual,
writers,
artists,
performers, thinkers,
curators,
agitators,
organizers,
and teachers.
Benny, we can't hear you.
Benny, your audio.
I was saying all these things. Wait, no, can we try again?
A safe space to make art in.
A place where I can be my full authentic self.
Very gay.
Hella gay.
Control Shift is kind, caring, and collaborative.
A sacred circle.
It's my art community and my art home.
Reminds me of the power of working collectively.
It's an alternative space to innovate individual creative practices.
Control Shift's mission aligns with my soul work.
Control Shift provides visibility. Control Shift is always changing.
Now more than ever, we need your help in providing a space and a platform for the artists and continuing the promise and commitment in exhibiting the works of the people that we have lined up for this 2020 exhibition cycle that may not be happening right now.
It's important for us to have these spaces to reimagine the world. We as artists always been those thinkers that are constantly reimagining how it is possible to change our lives.
We miss you with being together right now. We want this space to be there for us in the future.
Portable studios.
More cheap art.
More queer parties.
More community and more healing.
For the ancestors.
For the immigrants.
Baby artists.